Hello everyone, my name is Andrew Saliba and I'm an application engineer under the Structures group here at DRD Technology. This video is the final part of the weld fatigue analysis series taking place directly after our weld meshing video. Using the same model of a motorcycle frame, we have subjected it to loading and will bring the results into ENCODE DesignLife to calculate the fatigue life of our welds. As you might notice, there are some differences from the last video. We have added springs to serve as suspension and used connections and remote points to represent the wheels. You will also see that we have added point masses to represent various components within the motorcycle, as well as a human on top of the vehicle. Here you can see all of the faces and edges that our point masses are scoped to. If we move on to remote points, you will see how we have used these to create the suspension system, allowing for connections between springs and geometry. Moving on to connections, we have used joints to connect remote points to geometry, as well as remote points to remote points. Here are also all of our spring definitions. Within the mesh, we have meshed this with the same exact settings that were used in the previous video. Therefore, we have two weld controls, one to represent our fillet welds, and then one to represent our normal welds. The only difference here is that we have removed two tabs from these top bars here, inserted them at the back of the motorcycle to allow for a spring connection. We've also created a name selection using the worksheet to capture all 32 of our weld bodies. This is not necessary, but will be helpful when we move on to the ENCODE portion of this video. Moving on to our boundary conditions, you can see how we have used remote displacements to fix the ends of our springs in all of the translational and rotational degrees of freedom. We have used an acceleration to enact gravity onto our model, and we are essentially simulating the effect of loading the point masses onto our system. Before solving, we will need to come into analysis settings and under output controls ensure that nodal forces is set to yes. This will be necessary for the weld fatigue method in ENCODE. After solving our analysis, we can analyze the deformation results, and with the animation, we can see the point masses being loaded onto our system, as well as with the suspension. Please do note that this is at an exaggerated scale, but you can see this boomerang effect of our model being loaded on and off. Coming to the maximum principal stress, we can analyze the areas with maximum stress, which is indicating in these fillet welds here. This can be a good indication of where our minimum fatigue life will be. We will now utilize ENCODE DesignLife's Mechanical Embedded add-on to compute the fatigue life of our welds. To insert this, we will first come to the Add-ons tab and turn on DesignLife. This will open a new DesignLife tab where we can insert a new analysis. Coming into Analysis Settings, we will set our analysis type to Shell Seam Weld, which is also known as the Volvo-Chalmers approach and is used to evaluate seam welds modeled with shell elements. This method uses nodal forces and moments calculated in the static analysis to back-calculate stress and then to predict the fatigue life of welds. This allows for mesh insensitivity in the fatigue calculation, which is a big benefit of using this method, as traditional stresses at welds can be singular. We will set the mean stress correction to FKM to account for the weld residual stresses, and then we will leave the combination method at critical plane in 10 intervals and leave everything else as default. Moving on to solution group, we want to ensure that only the welds are selected for fatigue analysis. Since we are using the Shell Seam Weld method, you can see that it has already gone through and selected all of our weld bodies. We can go through and verify that it has made correct selections, or we can simply use our name selection that we created earlier. Moving on to the load mapper, we want to create a loading event at a constant amplitude, and we want to use the entirety of our static structural analysis. We will make this a zero-based loading with a max factor of 5, and what we are trying to simulate with this loading is the motorcycle hitting a pothole or a bump. We have set the max factor to 5 to account for the impact where we are assuming that the acceleration is reaching 5 Gs at the vehicle's lowest point. Essentially, we are analyzing how many large bumps this motorcycle frame can take before a weld breaks. Moving on to materials, With the seam weld method selected, this is done automatically, but the welds are assigned seam weld fatigue properties and are represented by two unique curves. The bending curve, shown in red, also known as the flexible SN curve, and the membrane curve, shown here in blue, also known as the stiff SN curve. The relationship between membrane and bending stress is decided by a bending ratio that DesignLife calculates and uses to interpolate between the membrane and bending SN curves to assess the fatigue damage. If you do not want to use the default material properties or want to specify different materials for different welds, you can add your own material parameters here. However, we will continue with the default, but you can set this up by navigating to the IceFlow standard database, and this has a load of different weld properties, and the default being seam_steel. With this, our setup is complete and we can move on to solving our analysis. Now that our solve is completed, we can insert some results to analyze the life and the maximum stress of our welds. We can also recolor the chart to make it a little easier to follow. Looking at our results, we can see that the minimum fatigue life is in the same area as the maximum stress from our static analysis. This result specifically indicates that this motorcycle frame will fail after 136,000 cycles. Here we have a handy chart where it lists the top 5 elements with the minimum fatigue life, and we can scroll through it to see various data. We can also select the element IDs to highlight the specific elements that it is referring to. Moving on to our max stress, we can see that throughout the loading, our motorcycle frame experiences a maximum stress of 48,000 psi in the same area as our minimum fatigue life. Now we want to test the effect of increasing the weld size. So we have run another test case where we have larger weld widths in these two fillets that indicate the minimum life. Here in our alternative test case, we have set our model up to be identical to the original analysis. The only change we made was in the mesh, where we have separated these two welds into their own weld control and have increased the weld width from 0.2 to 0.25 inches. Going through the full analysis, we can now analyze the new life of our welds. We can see that in the areas of interest, we have increased the fatigue life from failing at 136,000 cycles to now 223,000 cycles. We can also use the probe to analyze our values in the areas of interest. One thing that you'll notice is that our minimum fatigue life is no longer showing in these two fillet welds up here. It is now showing in these two tabs that are connected to the rear wheel. Essentially, we have increased the cycles to failure in the two welds of interest, but exposed two new welds that fail before 200,000 cycles. Just a note, the values shown here are similar to the original test case, and further iterating can be done to strengthen these welds. Looking at the maximum stress, we can see that it still appears in our area of interest. However, the maximum stress has decreased throughout the cycle of the analysis to about 34,000 psi. Overall, this series has shown how we can bring a model from Creo to Discovery and Mechanical, apply welded connections between our parts, and analyze the welds using the Mechanical Embedded DesignLife add-on. I will note that you need a license level of Ansys DesignLife Enterprise for weld fatigue, but we use the Shell Seam Weld analysis method to calculate fatigue life using a zero-based loading with a max factor of 5 times the static structural load. We have shown that our motorcycle model can handle around 136,000 bumps before failure, and that if we increase the weld size or width, we increase the amount of cycles to failure. If you want to know more about the Volvo Seam Weld method, you can find the link to a document on this in the description below. Other than that, thank you for watching. If you found this video helpful, make sure to leave a like and check out some of our other YouTube videos from our channel. You can also visit our website with the link in the description below to see more Ansys content in the form of webinars and blogs.